Hey everyone! So welcome to Sistah Sci-Fi Wind Down Wednesday. It's Wednesday, you made it! You hear some music in the background because guess what? It's Wind Down Wednesday. So if I remember, if I'm on time, you'll hear that. Hey Tamara, and I'm putting my glasses back on. You'll see the ring light because lighting is important and I can't figure out how to do that. To take away that lighting, and I'm sure you'll have lots of suggestions for me in the chat. And I'm inviting the guest for today. So that's why I look a little bit distracted. Just give me 2 seconds. And Tamara, just go ahead. You should see a button that says join the Instagram live. I looked for you and I couldn't see you to add you. How's everyone's Wednesday going? Yeah, I see a heart. So hopefully that's Tamara. And she's about to join. Okay, I see more hearts. So how people's Wednesdays going? How do you like the music? Hey, for everybody who just joined, yeah. Hey, everybody who just joined, it's Wind Down Wednesday. We're excited to have you here. The guest for today is Tamara Ramsey, longtime Sistah Sci-Fi sib, and we'll be talking about Black sci-fi shorts. So excited about the conversation. While we wait for Tamara to join, I'm playing some of my favorite tunes from the Spotify Afropop playlist. I also wanted to ask, how's everybody's week going so far? Do you feel energized and excited? Or are you just waiting for Friday? Either one is totally fine. Hey, Ivar, how are you? So my Wednesday is great. I started indoor rock climbing late last year. So I got to indoor rock climb this morning. It's a fun way to stay active. Fun, but also a bit terrifying because you're up there and you're like looking down and you're just like, I hope this person doesn't get distracted and drop me. And it's a cool way to see like your skill develop. Like you can stay active on elliptical, but it's harder to see your skill develop. Tamara, are you there? So asking again, how's everybody else's Wednesday going? Or week thus far? Or heck, year. How's everybody's 2022 going? Can you believe we're already in 2022? Oh, hey, Tamara. Okay. And so I just saw that. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? I was like, I don't see it.
I was just like, I don't understand. Where did she go? Welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. Nervous.
Oh, try to be nervous. You're good. So this is your first Sistah Sci-Fi Wind Down Wednesdays. Besides nervous, how's you?
It's my first Instagram live, actually.
You get to be your first Instagram live. That's you know what? That's why we're here. And I'll go between putting on my glasses and taking off my glasses. I'm in a different setting. I'm actually in the Sistah Sci-Fi fulfillment office as opposed to at home, so the lighting is different.
Okay.
And the reflection of the ring light a little bit drives me crazy. So you'll notice that. So like, how was your Wednesday? What did you do today? Did you work? Did you do something else?
I worked, tried to leave a little early so I could get home, get settled, you know, maybe put on a little bit of makeup, something like that.
I did too much today. And it was like 4:45 and I was like, I still got orders to take to the post office. So that's why I'm sitting here with no lipstick, no earrings, looking a bit flat.
Oh,
But
gorgeous.
you look amazing.
Thanks.
So, yay. So I always forget to do this. So now that we're here, we've established that it's Sistah Sci-Fi Wind Down Wednesdays. You made it to Wednesday. I still don't have a drink. The next week I'll have a drink. Let's pause to introduce ourselves. I'll start. I'm Sistah Scifi, CEO and founder of Sistah Sci-Fi. Sistah Sci-Fi is the first Black-owned bookstore focused on science fiction and fantasy. But if you're here, you probably already knew that. So would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Tammy, and I've been a customer since 2020, summer 2020. And I think I found you through probably the Octavia Butler slow read and on pages. So, and I think the first thing I bought from you was that t-shirt with the author's names on it. Yeah. It's my favorite, even though I'm not wearing it now, but it is one of my favorite t-shirts. And
I'm not wearing it either. So, and it's my shop. So you're fine. But yeah, that is one of your favorite t-shirts, and that's how you found us. I love the Octavia Butler slow read, and I'm a little sad that it's ending this year.
Yeah, I'm a little slow on this. I never finished Adulthood Rights, and now we're into Imago, so I got to read both of those this month and get them out of the way so we can get on to the next book. But I think the end of last year, even though I reached my reading goal, it was kind of hard to read everything I wanted to, including the sci-fi black short story, black sci-fi short stories.
Totally fine. I mean, technically, my job is to read all day, and still, I'm like, oh my God, there's something I don't know what to do. Like, so I get, and I was on a phone call yesterday on Sunday. Yay!
It's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? I'm gonna pin it. I was on a phone call on Sunday with a friend, and then they were like, "You own a bookstore here? All these books you should read." I was like, "We can't talk no more. This to be read list feels stressful." So I get it. Okay, so let's start with, why do you love sci-fi?
Oof. I have to say that it goes back to television, really. When I was growing up, and part of it was in New York, where I am now, and then part of it was in Barbados, where I spent most of my teenage and early years. But whether it was here or there was always Star Trek, and there was always Star Trek on Saturdays. So I watched that, and, getting to experience some people that looked like us in Star Trek. Because I actually liked the original one from, was it late 60s, early 70s?
Yeah.
And all the way up until now is Star Trek Discovery, which is amazing to watch, and it's one of my favorites.
She finally has the chair. She's in the captain chair. I was like, we've been waiting for a season for this. I haven't watched the first season.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you, sis. I haven't watched the most current season. I have to watch it, so I'm excited about that. So yeah, I think when I think about it, I think Star Trek was like my welcome to science fiction, ISIS as well. So I totally feel you on that story.
Yeah.
Yay. So what's one of the first sci-fi books that you read and you're like, yes?
Ooh, growing up, because I didn't start reading, Black authors or female sci-fi authors right away. So it was always, of course, Stephen King. And I read a lot of that when I was a teenager in Barbados, and my dad would go on business trips to the States. So he had to always bring a stack of books back for me, and it was always Stephen King. So it was Stephen King, Dean Koontz, who was like the romance writer version of horror, because he's just got so many books out there. And later on, Neil Gaiman is my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
And
Neil Gaiman is pretty prolific. Plurific. I was like, why is my worried about saying that word?
He
And I
also
think
does comics, so that's, he there's a border there, like he's on either side. But I also read Ray Bradbury, and my favorite thing was Martian Chronicles. And from there, I think probably around, 2003? I was reading some article that was talking about W.E. Du Bois writing speculative writing. I was like, wait, Black people write sci-fi? So, and the comment is in the short stories. That's the one that brought me to that book. And I was like, all right, so what else can I find that other people write? And I found that there were women writers, and I was even more like, oh my God, like someone who looks like me writes the stuff that I enjoy reading. And, I was always a science kid growing up, so.
And there's so many of us. So I just want to go back to Sunflower Flame saying that Star Trek is the best. Totally
That's
agree.
my friend Shirley.
Oh, there's your friend? Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Shirley. Good to see you. So yeah, and going back to the comment, yeah, I think I learned that W.E.B. Du Bois wrote sci-fi. It was definitely less than 5 years ago. I was like, this is a comment. We should all be talking about this. So yeah, and it's exciting that it's in this collection of short stories. It's also in Dark Matter, a century.
Yeah, I have both of those.
Yay! So yeah, and then just to discover like there's a whole bunch of like Black people and it's like Black women writing in science fiction,
Right.
which I think a lot of people tend to think of a space that's dominated by white men. So
Right.
that
Exactly.
super exciting. So have you, and no pressure, but have you opened Black sci-fi shorts, or you just still like this cover is amazing?
I have. I looked through it, and I was trying to catch up on the comic, but there's some fine writing in this book.
Okay, great, because like
I mean, as in the size, like it's tiny, fine writing.
You said great, but you were like
no, there's obviously some great writing here, but yeah, I cracked it open, looked through who all the authors who were in there, but I haven't really gotten to like investigate any of the newer ones because there's a lot of people in here that I haven't read before. I think probably most of them I haven't read before, so it'll be interesting for me to see and learn about some new authors through this book. So
yeah. Based off of the titles and maybe authors that you don't know yet, which is the title that you're excited to watch or read?
Let me see. Probably The Orb by Tara Campbell. I don't know who she is. I don't know her writing. Nobody beat me up in the comments if y'all know who she is.
Yeah, this is not the type of party, but now Orb. And you said Tara
Campbell.
Oh, okay. Because there's a lot I don't know, but I love Googling stuff.
Yes, I have my laptop right here just in case I have to Google anything.
So somebody says they didn't really get it, but they still loved it. So this is a review in Lightspeed magazine, written by, let's see who it's written by. Early Sog, and this review came out in 2021 of May, so a little bit after, or actually before this was published, because it was published in June.
Right.
And so, he talks about Temi Oh, who wrote Do You Ever Dream of Terror 2, which is a book I keep meaning to read and I haven't read yet. I'm just like, I just need to read this book.
Well, Temi Oh writes the foreword, which I thought it kind of mirrors everyone's journey into sci-fi for the first time. Like they all seem to be similar stories. So I like enjoyed reading about the experience of Temi Oh starting to enjoy sci-fi. Also started with Ray Bradbury. So
yeah, oh yes, it's cool. Yeah, similar parallels. Which yeah, I mean it makes sense. So going back to what Early thought of The Orb, I'm going to say something about Tara Campbell's The Orb that I really, very rarely say. I didn't entirely get it, but I loved it. It was weird in all the right ways. And maybe the weirdness is a point. Or maybe it's just one of those stories that I need to read just a couple of times to fully understand. So it sounds like
I like
you'll
that.
reread the Orb, and then it'll like you're like, oh, catch some things, which
Yeah.
I think the best sci-fi offers you.
Exactly.
Yay.
All right.
Cool. You're like, all right, you want to talk about the next book, or you want to talk about the next story in the collection?
I probably not. I think that I want to work on reading The Orb first, and then, you know, I can dig down more into it. But what did you want to say about the book?
So, you know, I'm excited about the book. I think the binding is great. I'm excited about the fact that based off of the success of this one, they actually did a reprint late last year. So I'm glad that it's so well received that they might do an Afrofuturism shorts collection. So I'm really excited about that. And I think the fact that Flame Tree, since they're UK publisher, speaks to Afrofuturism, Black science fiction, I mean, we all know this, is a global movement, and Black people in the future is a global movement. I haven't read it yet, so I'm still like excited about like to read it and the reception and what people think. What stories I should focus on. To be honest, it takes like a lot of push for me to read short stories. If you're like, here is a series with 13,000 books, like pages, I'm like, okay, I'll spend 5 minutes reading this. Yeah.
Exactly. Short stories are hard for me and it shouldn't be because it doesn't take that long to read them, but for some reason it takes me a while to just be like, all right, let me read the short story. Like N.K. Jemison's collection, I haven't completely read that either.
Right. And I read that, and I read it because I discussed it with a friend, and I discussed it in a book club. So I was like, but again, I had to be motivated to read it. Otherwise, I just sat. People are like, have you read it? It's great. And I'm like, I'm gonna read it. So I know what's my hurdle to reading Black sci-fi shorts, and they're like great. So like, I definitely want to read the comment. I want to read the story by Temi Oh. The Orb seems great. It's an opportunity. I think Of One Blood is in that collection, right? I could be also confusing it with Dark Matter.
Of One, yes. And I bought that book. So I'm excited to read that one.
You're like, I got both of them.
It's somewhere behind me.
So it's an opportunity for me to read Of One Blood. But also I'm just like, the book itself is just so beautiful. I just want to like frame it or put it on display or like put it on the counter and just have the vibes like imbue my whole apartment. So yeah. So what television shows are you watching now?
The Expanse I've watched most of. But I haven't watched season 6 yet, and I'm going to put that off for a little while because I just started reading the books. So I'm reading the first one, which is Leviathan Wakes, and it's amazing.
You've been the third person who's like, yeah, I'm reading the Expanse books, and also gave it a highly recommended review. So somebody said, I think the woman last week, Brandy, was reading the Expanse books, and then my friend was reading the Expanse books, and then she also read the one that I guess the author's son wrote, which answered a lot of questions she had about the Expanse. She said that was really good. It was like, I still got like a whole season and a half to watch of the Expanse. Like, am I going to read the book? Yes, I will eventually.
I think that I like it better that I watched it first and now I'm reading the book. I'm reading the book to get a little bit more background story and to hear a little bit more of the inner monologue of the characters. And it's pretty much they're following each other. Like the show actually followed the book pretty well. I'm probably like halfway through it, and it's like the special edition, so it's got like these edges and it's all
pretty.
It's so pretty. I think that's probably why everyone's reading this now, because this one just came out as a special edition.
Oh, how nice. Okay, I might
Yeah.
have to get that in my life. And that's what my friend said too. I mean, like with a character like Naomi, right now in season 5, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to figure out why she did some of the stuff she did. But I feel like in the book you could get deeper into her brain as opposed to watching her actions. So
Exactly. It's a lot of information, but I've also been doing it as a hybrid read. So I borrowed the audiobook from the library, so I'm listening and reading at the same time, and the narrator is really terrific. So
yeah, I love that. So my friend was telling me that Rosario Dawson read one of the books. I don't know which one. So, and I love
oh,
hybrid. Yeah, it's not the first book. It's one of the books related. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure it's the Expanse.
I love that. I love her as a narrator. So
Yeah. And
that'll
so
be fun.
I also really love hybrid reading. So yay!
So you'll enjoy him. He manages to create different voices for each character, and he's very consistent with it. So you know who he's actually reading when you hear him read.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so and he actually sounds like the detective very closely.
Oh, I loved it. I was like, wait, the detective is like really dead. Like he ain't coming back ever.
He's
Oh,
out there.
right. You got gone. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have to sit with that. It was like a Walking Dead type dead.
Right, it was sad. I was like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just in the comments, I see a lot of highs and hellos and requests to join the video. We have one guest for today, which is awesome. But tell us, what are you watching on TV? If you want to drop that in the chat. And Tamara, definitely feel free to call something out if you see something, because it goes by really quickly. And then
I know. I'm trying to look now, and I'm like, it's super faint.
You're just like, oh, I don't see anything. So yeah, if you want to drop it in the chat, anything that you're watching on TV that is science fiction, bonus points if it's science fiction and features people of color. I am watching, or I finished, Raised by Wolves. So my brother-in-law watched Raised by Wolves, and he's like, it's thought-provoking, and I haven't watched it yet. I see Lost in Space season 2. Oh wow, that's really coming.
Season 2 for Raised by Wolves too.
Huh?
Season 2 for Raised by Wolves too is out.
Oh, there's another season? Okay, man, I'm excited because there's a lot of great content.
Silent Sea, I want to watch.
What is Silent Sea about? Because
it's on Netflix. It is, I don't know if it's a Korean or a Chinese film, but it's a space, yeah, I guess there are people who go into space and they're sent into space to investigate possibly something going on the moon. Y'all can correct me. It is a Korean film. All right, cool. And obviously they find something else and possibly someone's trying to cover something up, but it looked really interesting. I added it to my list, but that's all I do in Netflix is just add.
There's a lot of great. I still haven't watched Squid Game. I'm like, I'm so behind. Like everybody's talking about Squid Game. I'm like, I'm coming for Squid Game. There's Station 11, which I like highlighted on HBO Max. I have to watch What If, just because Killmonger is up to his shenanigans.
Right. Mandalorian was a favorite of mine too.
One more time.
The Mandalorian.
Yes, I have friends watching The Mandalorian, and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch it, but they seem to really enjoy it. They're like really excited about Baby Yoda, and I'm glad they're really excited.
I love it. I love it. But there's also something on Hulu that I was watching called La Brea, and
that's sci-fi.
Yeah, it's there. I guess there's a breach that people fall through, and they end up in like prehistoric Los Angeles. So they're trying to figure out ways to get people back to present day, and they're showing the survival of people in the prehistoric day, and they're like able to get messages through years later if they know the spot that someone left the message in. So that's kind of interesting.
that's what La Brea was about. Okay, I just added it to my stuff. I'm about this life. For some reason, it reminds me of Colony, even though Colony, like, aliens come and invade Earth. The interesting thing about the Colony, I don't know if anybody watches, is that you never see the aliens. You're just
Is that the movie or the TV series? Because there's a movie out now called The Colony, which is super weird.
It's a TV series. It's like maybe 3 or 4 years. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, these aliens are really wreaking havoc on human life, and we don't even see them. It's like the aliens are out there telling us all what to do.
I mean, if I came to Earth, I would beat our asses too, so.
And there's that. So Sunflower, you said you like the sound of that one. Which show are you referring to? Because I think we just talked about 3 shows in like the past 3 minutes. So yeah, but I added La Brea to my queue. I'm actually going on a hot springs trip, which has limited Wi-Fi and cell phone reception, which is supposed to be detoxing and like a stress relief, but I personally find that very stressful.
Yeah.
But to prepare for that, I am downloading a lot of sci-fi movies, so like I'm excited for these recommendations.
Are you into thrillers at all?
Yes, I'm. So okay, Sunflower Flame. This the time travel one. So that's La Brea. Thumbs up. Yes, I'm into thrillers. Basically, I'm on like that Issa Rae path. Like I'm down for anything Black. So
yeah,
just not too much trauma.
Got it. Never
so
mind.
People are like, yeah, have you watched them? I was like, there's so much trauma.
I mean, after Get Out, I didn't know if I could do any more of those. Like, I was watching Get Out with a like white knuckle grip. Like, I was so stressed out watching that.
Yes, but I feel like Get Out, like, because Get Out came out before Quinn and Slim. So I felt like I was like, oh my God, he's gonna die. He's gonna get arrested. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, there's no way this is gonna end good for him.
They're gonna turn on him.
And it's like, there were some shenanigans, but not that shenanigans. And so that just made me feel so relieved. And also, fun fact, you may already know this, Jordan Peele actually changed the ending based off of like test views, like viewer feedback.
Really?
Because I don't think I would have been happy with the original ending that he had. And Ollie's, I think that was Ollie's book, says Us was so scary. Yes, Us was like terrifying. But to be honest, I feel like there was a big central message that I totally missed in Us. Maybe that was just me. I hope that was just me.
I haven't watched it yet. I've got to prepare to watch all of those. I did watch Antebellum though. It was interesting.
Yes. I'm like, what can I say about Antebellum? I watched Antebellum with a friend.
It was a lot of suspended disbelief.
Lots of suspended disbelief. And so so my friend had very strong opinions about Antebellum. I had slightly different opinions. It almost ended our friendship. So yeah. So that's all I can say about Antebellum. So yeah, that's all I'm saying about Antebellum. Did anybody else watch Antebellum? Feel free to drop your comments in the chat. I may not be able to read them because I do want Janelle Monáe to do something with Sistah Sci-Fi, so I don't want to say anything negative. Right. But
we also want her to do Far Sector, right?
Yes, and we definitely want her to do Far Sector, so which would be amazing. So Antebellum was horrifying. Though I mean, it's like we saw like Janelle Monáe's yoga moves. I was like, yeah, she do be doing that yoga.
Right.
So,
she was like, I'm integrating everything that I know into this role.
All of it.
I had nothing against her being an actress and doing what she was doing with what she was given.
Right. And I'm reading this. Somebody told me that Antebellum was like Kindred. I wouldn't give it away. So
yeah.
So you'll have to watch and find out.
Same era, different circumstances. maybe?
Yeah, possibly. So Aquarius, Dragon Rider says highly questionable. I'm not quite sure what they're referring to, and we'll just leave it at that. So I watched it and, found it questionable. So yeah, Janelle is amazing. She made it worthwhile. Janelle one day will make anything worthwhile, so we can run with that.
Right?
So yeah. Yay. Thank you for the comments and being engaged with our conversation. Timmy, where's your wine down? Where's your wine?
It's in a mug. This it's a hot toddy. It's
Yeah, thank you for the hot toddy.
some gin, some elderflower, some lemon juice, and some hot water.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
That's really tea.
Yeah. I mean, the gin makes it a little bit more than tea, and I'm totally here for it. So each wine down Wednesday, I'm like, oh, I'm not prepared. Next week, Wednesday, I'll have my blueberry kombucha mimosa. And then the Wednesday comes and I still don't have it. So please send me the recipe for the hot toddy and we'll drop it in the chat or in the description of this event if you want to. Absolutely no pressure.
Okay. I will at some point.
Yeah, you can do it after this. There's no pressure. There's no rush. And then I'll ask the people in the chat. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Are you winding down with a drink, some tea, some kombucha, some Kool-Aid? We got to give our propers to the Kool-Aid. Some sorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. Some ginger beer. Oh, Reed's ginger beer used to give me so much life. I mean, it still does.
Someone's drinking sorrel. Someone's from Barbados.
For real?
I thought you said someone was drinking sorrel.
I was offering to think.
I was gonna say.
I was like, there's something I wanted to talk about. So why does it seem like the Barbados science fiction and fantasy scene is so on point? And I'm saying this because John Jennings went to sci-fi conference down there, and then that's where he met the people who did Hard Ears, and they're based in Barbados.
Yeah.
The next Sistah Scifi Afrofuturism trip definitely has to be to Barbados.
Oh, I'll be there. Yeah, I have Hard Ears too, and I started flipping through it, and I'm like, this comic book is super dense. Like, there's a lot of information in the beginning about each type of character. Most of it I would understand if I, read through it, just because I grew up there. But they are really just like, here's this group and here's this group. This is what this stands for, and I was just like, ooh, it's like a little history lesson.
Yeah.
So, and that's even before the comic starts. So that's for my reads for this year.
Yay! And what did you think of being from Barbados? What did you think of Hard Ears? And it's okay if you haven't read it.
No, I haven't read it yet. But yeah. I think it's an amazing concept. Just because people looking from the outside in kind of think wow, these are kind of cool myths and superstitions, and that's within our culture, and it's pretty interesting. So I think it's kind of cool to kind of up it with some superpowers, and we are super beings.
Yes. And that kind of like that vitality that comes from within. And I just want to acknowledge Sunflower Flame is also drinking gin, but theirs is a gin and tonic. So yes, I guess it's gin for the win.
Yeah.
Tonight. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed Hard Ears and just kind of that narration and that kind of richness of the story. FYI, yeah. Barbados is my favorite Caribbean island. Not that I've been to many.
I'm kind of proud that they made a comic book, because a lot of us grew up there kind of trying to, get books where we could. It's like things aren't always inexpensive just because everything got imported. But, we had a small circle of people that liked the sci-fi, and we would just kind of trade amongst each other. So, yeah.
Do you go back? Or do you go back? Or?
I haven't been back in a while. I would like to go back home for this Christmas, but that hasn't really been planned yet. It's supposed to be like a cousin affair where we're all like, hello, hi. It's my cat, Papa.
Oh, hey, Papa.
He finally got up. He was like sleeping next to me just now. Ugh. He's a big boy. Okay, you're the one who got up here. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, Papa.
Put me down. He's purring. He's purring though, very hard.
Oh. Yeah, cats are finicky creatures. Like they love and hate you all at the same time. You're like, ah.
He's like pawing at me now because I'm not paying attention to him.
Right.
So.
That sounds like a cat. I'm more of a dog person because dogs are very like, I love you all the time. Like very one-dimensional. I was like, that I can handle. It's like that zombie brain in me, like the very focused. Yeah.
He's like that too because he's one of those orange tabbies. They're like dogs. So.
Oh, okay. Now I know.
He's
Sunflower Flame also loves Papa, so Papa's getting a lot of love. So thank you.
Stop pushing the phone around, dude. Okay. Yeah. So, I have a question for you. Who are the first sci-fi authors you got into and just really enjoyed and sparked this magical bookstore happening?
Yeah. How to answer this question? So I think I think Octavia Butler kicked it off because I had read Fledgling like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I read Lilith's Brood and I was like, this is amazing. Like I love the biotechnology.
Right.
My first read, I like had an affinity for the Oankali. And now I'm rereading it with the slow read and now I'm questioning my whole life. I was like, and Jerry, don't take away from me, but I think she took them. Anyway, and so I wanted to discuss it with friends and I discussed it with one friend, Jen May, and she was like, oh, and I'm sure you've read Nnedi Okorafor and Tomi Adeyemi and da-da-da. And I was like, what? No, I haven't. And I was like twofold, like, it was like I missed a memo on two levels. Like one, they were Black, and two, they were West African. I was like, I'm from Ghana. Like,
oh wow,
African names. Like, I should know. And so there was that level, and then also like I felt like I'd spent a lot of my life very intentionally reading African American literature, and so to have gone so long and I've only read Octavia Butler, and I think I've read Nayla Hopkinson's Brown Girl in the Ring. I was just like, what? Am I doing my life? So then I just wanted to read the books and discuss it with people. And that was the start of Sistah Sci-Fi. I was like, Sistah Sci-Fi will be like well-read Black girl, but for science fiction. And so
cool.
Started off mostly as a book club. And then, because I like everything e-commerce, it became an online bookstore.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I started off reading Tananarive. That was probably my first journey in, and I started with her saga of the African Immortals series.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
And like from the very first page of the very first book, I was just like, this is one I want to read for the rest of my life. And like I have all four of those books and I feel like I need to reread them just because, you know, she just puts you right there in the story. Right. And just, I don't know, I just enjoyed seeing like the difference between ancient times and modern times where they're discovering, you know, the living blood, but there's also the AIDS and the HIV pandemic happening as well. And they have, you know, this possible cure that could help people in modern day. So I like the changes and all of that. But
yeah, I've only read My Soul to Keep, and when I finished it, I was like, oh my God, I have to read the rest of the series, and then I got distracted. But I'm excited to read the rest of the series. All these books says I've read Joplin's Ghost by her, but haven't read it yet. So haven't read Yeah, and I think like at one point I was like, so what are your favorite titles by Tananarive Due? And I got like a bunch of different answers. So I got African Immortal series. I got Joplin's Ghost. I think I got Good House, which mentioned a lot. So I think there's just like a lot of love across all her books, which is
Yeah.
exciting. But I really want to finish the African Immortals, mostly because I love the growth of the main character.
Yeah.
Jessica?
Jessica, it's Dawit or
Yeah.
David, Jessica, and their daughter, first daughter was Kia.
Yeah. So yeah, so because there were definitely in the first book, particularly in some of the early scenes, I was like, girl, Jessica, what are you doing with your life? So to
Right.
see her go from there to like really standing in her power, like at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the book, I was excited to see like, oh, what happens next for Jessica in books 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
Dawit, I couldn't with Dawit. I was like, which
Always
is
that
weird because I
one.
get so much grace for Duro.
I was gonna say there's always that one male character in these books that is just put there to cause trouble and strife and just unnecessary like foolery.
And he was definitely in it. And I think with Dawit, I was just like, you just gotta come clean, right? You can't be like, oh, I'm doing this because I really like love and like, bruh. Just say that you selfish and you about yourself and you just about your life, right?
Right.
Don't make it like so. That's what bothered me about Dawa, and I'm like, you had centuries upon centuries to kind of ground yourself and get this right.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
He learned nothing until Jessica, so that says something about her, really.
Yeah, yes. So I'm excited to read the rest. I'm really excited to read the rest of the series. So because I enjoy Jessica's growth and I love vampires, so you kind of like add me at vampires.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. And Blair Underwood is probably not watching this, but Blair Underwood, if in case you're watching this, please just go ahead and make the movie.
Right? I've not read any of their novels together. I think they had a detective series together or something like that.
Wait, who and who?
Blair Underwood and Tananarive
I didn't know that, so we are going to Google that.
I could be just making that up. I have all these things in my head.
No, I make up stuff all the time. I was like, oh, we were watching Passing, and I was like, oh, did you know that the filmmaker is the granddaughter of Nella Larson? And they're like, really? And then we Googled it. I was like, no, I totally made that up. So just that, I am making that up. Rebecca C. Hall is not the granddaughter of Nella Larson. Like, don't spread that anywhere. That's complete false news. Okay, Blair Underwood. Tiana. Do novel? Oh,
Okay, I
you're
did make it
right.
up.
It's Casa Niagara, Blair Underwood with Tanner Dew and Stephen Barnes. So you're right, they did write a book together.
Yeah, so there's all these other threads out there, like links says like, okay, now I got to read this book because but there's so much to read, and like everyone's like, oh, you should read this, and I'm like, but I have all the things I have to read.
All the books ain't read yet. Yeah. It's real out here in these streets. I hear you. The to be read list be like
It's heavy.
yeah. So I'm like, so what is one book on your to be read list that you're most excited to getting to in the next 60 days?
Oh wow. I based my 2022 book list off of this booktuber's shelf. Tori Morrow, do you know her?
I don't think so.
She's amazing. I just wrote my whole list. I'm like, I'm gonna read all of or most of the books on her list. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at it now. That was my little reading journal.
Yeah, you're about to list like 30 books on just the one book that you're most excited about.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out which one. That's hard.
I look at that. Aquarius Dragon Rider says the to be read list. The struggle is definitely real, and I feel thank you for echoing my pain because sometimes like the struggle is very real. So
I think One Blood I want to really get to in the next 60 days. Yeah, because that's on my. It's supposed to be on my January TBR, but we'll see how that works out.
the thing about One Blood, it's really short. You could probably, if you're read it in like 2 days, if you're ambitious.
Okay. I think that's doable.
I mean, I read really slow, so the idea of reading up One Blood in 2 days is actually a little bit stressful for me. So yeah, but it's not like a book that will take you like months. So
Okay.
I think I'm excited to read. There's so much. I mean, I think I'm excited to like read more. Yeah. Yes, I'm excited to read more.
I actually have Nor too, and I love remote control. So
Yeah, I like the remote control more than I thought it would, and I think I like the references to Book of Phoenix, which is still my favorite book by Nadia Cornfor.
That one I haven't read yet. I've read Who Fears Death, which is just has my whole heart.
Oh my God, Who Fears Death? I was like, whoa. It was a lot. The trauma was like the trigger warnings were. I was like, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's a good book, and Who Fears Death was a lot. I think Book of Phoenix. I love the African references, and there's sort of like the bulletproof shea butter. I love that you had a character who was thinking about like her impact on the world beyond herself and beyond survival, even though there's a lot stacked up against her. I love the biotechnology, and I loved. Yeah, I loved how powerful she was. When you read Book of Phoenix and then you're like, you remember Who Fears Death, and you're like, oh, this is what happened. You'll have a point of view about that. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And I'm excited to see it become, I think Who Fears Death is coming to HBO, so that should be interesting.
I can't wait for all the adaptations that are coming out. Like Kindred's coming out on FX.
I will watch it. I will watch the premiere. And
was it too stressful for you?
Oh my God. Kindred? When we were doing the Octavia E. Butler slow read, I was like, I really do not want to read Kindred. And they're like, why? I was like, child slavery is like, for whatever reason, it's a major trigger for me. I'm just like.
Yeah, so, I mean, just when she went back with her husband, I was just like, he feels really comfortable. I was really upset about that. Like, he felt really comfortable.
I'm like, I don't need to feel comfortable in the antebellum South. What kind of shenanigans is this? And then we gotta go back. No, Aquarius Dragon Rider also says Book of Phoenix is so good. So it's not just me. Other people think Book of Phoenix is really good. But yeah, so it's hard enough to read Kindred, but to also have that additional element of watching it, I don't know. I have to sit with that. It took me a long time to watch like 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that.
Yeah. So I'm just like, and then I was like, do I want to see Rufus?
See what?
Rufus.
Rufus? What's that?
Rufus, the character in Kindred.
Oh, I'm like, I'm not listen, sometimes my recall is not on point. When I read books and people are like, so-and-so, I'm like, who? And they're like, didn't you just read that? And I'm like, yeah.
Like literally I talk about books all day, every day. So my recall is usually pretty bad, but like then I talk about it all the time. So
yeah.
But I am excited. I'm excited that Kindred is being made into a television adaptation. I know if I watch it, I will have to like talk to my therapist. So I'm excited about Dawn. I'm excited about Wild Seed. I'm excited about Fledgling. Fledgling is being done by Issa Rae, so I don't know if she's gonna like try to drop some comedy in there. That might be a bit awkward.
I mean, I love that book. I mean, it was a little uncomfortable with, the protagonist being stuck at a certain age and having to, I guess, convince her partner that, hey, I've been alive for many, many years. And it's just like, all right, but it's not how you look, though.
Right, right. So I hope that's something that they adjust in the television adaptation.
Right. People might not. I mean, picking up a book and reading it is one thing, but this is going to reach a larger audience. So people just might be like,
what is this shenanigans? Yeah.
So
that's something that they adjust.
Yeah.
I would say that's definitely something that they need to adjust, because those seems to be very off-putting. And also it's a different time period, right?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about all this. Like Benty is coming to Hulu.
I love that story. I just want to wrap myself up in the story and just it's just so great. I love that. It's soon. I think I got the ebooks, and as soon as the next one came out, I was like, it's out. I gotta buy it. You read it. But they're 3 great novellas. I love them.
Benty is great. I enjoyed it. Can you get the ebook of like the 4th book that's in the 4th story that's in the binder?
I don't think so. I bought them like when they all first came out, so I'm not sure if the other one's available.
Let me research.
I haven't even searched that out.
But you already I already got the whole universe to read. Leave me alone. So I hear that. So cool. What do you want to share in the last 5 minutes of our Wind Down Wednesday? And thank you for bringing the wine to the Wind Down Wednesday. I appreciate you.
The wine or the gin. I don't know. Thank you for inviting me on here. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I was like, let me just do it anyway and have fun, and I have fun. I think that everyone here, if you are not a customer at Sistah Scifi, you should go onto the website, take a look at everything, support her. Her customer service is awesome. Aww. And that's why I'm still a customer. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it really is like an amazing community to be actively a part of, like readers and writers who are really excited about Black and Indigenous people and their role in the future. And not just like our role in the future as individuals disconnected from our culture, but like truly tapped in and connected to our culture and bringing our cultural ideologies into the future with us. Like, right. What does it mean to like center community? What does it mean to center like Lujima or Sankofa? And everything that you do in technology, like now I'm going back to bell hooks, that like infusing love into all your actions. And I feel like Sistah Scifi and the conversations and like you allow me that space to imagine that. So buying the books is amazing. But for me, I think what feeds me every day is the conversations and the engagement. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. So
yeah. Okay. What time it is? It is 5:57. Okay. So, do you want to play rapid fire questions? They're always this or that.
Okay.
As you can tell, I'm excited. Okay, first question. Erykah Badu or Jill Scott? Rapid fire.
Erykah Badu.
Okay. Records or Spotify?
Records.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I use Spotify every day, but I love the physical, feel like having a book. I like records.
Okay. The moon or Mars?
Mars.
You were like, duh. Like
apparently that's where all the action's happening. So
okay, that's fair. Star Wars or Star Trek?
come on. Um, Star Trek. Star Trek. I love
Are you
both.
sure?
I love
Okay.
both, but Star Trek, yes.
Okay. Okay. Parable of the Sawyer or Wild Seed?
Wild Seed.
Yeah, I would go with Wild Seed too.
So just big female power in Wild Seed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, like, Lauren Alameda was like amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, so that brings us to our last rapid fire question. Laura Alameda or Mary? Who's the main character of Mind of My Mind?
I love Mind of My Mind, but I don't think I had a favorite character in there, so I think I'd go with Olamina.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
here for it. So somebody says, "Who fears death?" Or is it not science fiction? I consider Who Fears Death science fiction just because it's in that vein of Book of Phoenix. So you still have that biotechnology, which she talks about. And
Yeah, Nnedi Okorafor would probably say what African futurism.
right.
Yeah,
Which I mean, like, and I'm like, is African futurism a separate genre from science fiction too?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah,
But you're right. She would say it's African futurism, capital A, capital F, all one word, no space. I'm like, I
not
can't wait
Afro.
right. I can't wait to get to the point where I can make up terms and then like be very about how people write and talk about it. So I'm not there yet. So African futurism, if you don't know what it is, Google it because Nnedi Okorafor discusses it a lot and is educating us all on this
Right.
new.
Don't mess with her on that term.
So, yes, we're all learning, or I'm learning the hard way. So yay. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
so much. Let me know when you want to hop on again.
Okay,
And
will do.
I'll see you in cyberspace.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.